Hey everybody, this is Amanda and Don with Talking Action for Your Biz, and we're going on step number 4 today, which is basically the seasons of your business. But are they really? That's my question. But before we get going, Amanda, we were talking about positivity last time, right?
Oh yeah, yes. Step number 2. Yep,
Well,
step
I
number 2.
want to show some positivity. I'm going to give a big old shout out to my friends at the station on Ingersoll. What are they doing? They are doing meals for people that are having problems feeding themselves, and they're doing up to 150 to 200 meals a day, Amanda. I mean, we're
I
talking about,
love it.
this one day
What?
they had, the free tuna salad sandwich stuff, but I look at this. I mean, this is some of the stuff they're making right here. They're doing a fantastic job to jump in with your community, and they might need a little help. And so if everybody would go to the station on Ingersoll, and they got a GoFundMe deal going on there, but they talk about what they're doing. And it's interesting just to scroll on through here and see the positivity
Yeah.
that they're trying to put out to their community. So I just wanted to start our webinar off today with something like that.
Oh, Dawn, thank you so much for sharing. And just kudos to them for doing a really beautiful thing in a really uncertain time. That is just a perfect example of what we were talking about on the last episode. How can we be creating what is seems to be a not win situation to making it a win-win? And the station, not only the fact of the matter is it's good marketing for them, but it also serves a very, very important need for our community and serves our need well, which helps convey their mission of being an entrepreneur in a small business and a restaurateur here in the Des Moines area. Thank you for sharing that.
The funny thing is they started business this summer. And so this is going to go right into what you're doing, talking about expansion and contraction.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So Dawn, you kind of gave me a good fuel there. Let's jump into our third step, right? So step 1 is communication. Step 2 is being positive. And step 3 is knowing the cycles. So what do we mean when we say about knowing these cycles? So the cycle, Dawn, right? Of the economy, how many stages does it have?
4.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So they're all are the same. They have multiple names sometimes for each one, but in the good way of looking at it that I like to use is to say summer, fall, winter, and spring, right? So Dawn, you've been an entrepreneur for a lot of years. How many times have you seen these cycles go through?
Oh, a bunch of times, because I used to own a moving company. And so the big time for moving is in the summertime before school. Yep. And so what do you do after school starts? People are still moving, but you got to go find them, and they're not moving. It's not as many people moving, so it's like fishing. Okay, so you go fishing and you cast a rod out, and you might catch 1 hour, one every 2 hours. Mm-hmm. But sooner or later, you might hit a school, and as soon as that hook gets in the water, you're pulling them in as fast as you can cast. So
absolutely,
that's how business is.
Absolutely, absolutely. So so on those 4 cycles, when we call it spring, summer, fall, and winter, we don't literally mean like the seasons on calendar, guys. So what we are referring that to is summer would be like a boom, right? And we just came out of that. We've had a crazy, crazy, beautiful economic growth since the recession of 2008. Remember that, Don? Remember that time? Yeah, tough. That was interesting times. But we're going through those interesting times again, right? So when you come out of this strong economic boom, after summer comes what, Don?
Summer. So let me think about this. Summer comes fall.
Exactly. And then, not a trick question, guys. And then after, so if everything's booming in the summertime, and then you get to fall, what is it you do with all your landscaping, your trees, and your lawn? What happens in the fall?
You got to prune them.
Exactly. You've got to prune. You've got to clean out, and you've got to trim back. So right now we're seeing, after we've had this big economic boom for the last, really 10 plus years. So the cycle of the 4 seasons, gang, not to get too into the nitty gritty here, but they usually, if you look back historically, it runs between about 7 to 10 year period. Okay. This last one went just a little bit longer than that. There's a lot of reasons why you can explain that. But the point of it is if you look historically, it's gotten a little long. So now we're simply just moving out of that summer into that fall. So now it's a season of pruning. It's a season of trimming back. It's a season of reevaluating. Don, go ahead.
Especially with the disease, where we're at right now. And but my question to you is this, Amanda. We have the 4 seasons, and we talk about pruning and stepping back a little bit, but do we really?
So that's a great question. It depends on how you look at it. Mm-hmm. Because I view pruning as really a reevaluation. So I look at it as, how does our business adapt? Which I don't want to get into too many steps further ahead, but how do businesses, and especially small business right now, have to look at the situation that's going on around them, and how do they respond to it, right? So you can call that a trimming or a pruning, however you want to, but I look at it more as we're just having to reevaluate, and we're having to move into a different season. Does that make sense? Does that help answer your question, sir?
It reminds me of Home Depot, but they start too soon. So like right now it's all right, what are we going into? We're going into wherever we're going. We're going into summer.
Spring.
We're spring. Yeah, we're spring. And we're moving forward, and they've already got all their plants out, ready to plant, right? But come time, like summertime, come about, what is it, like July, August, they're already talking Thanksgiving. And they got all the Thanksgiving decorations out. So they're like planning too far ahead, in my opinion. But it's stuff like that. What can we do? What can we do to set ourselves apart? And what can we do to keep business at the very least steady, if not always growing?
Absolutely. Absolutely. But then one step even further, Don, because you're exactly right, but taking it one step further is really recognizing that even though we're in a seasonal shift of the economy, right? We're coming out of summer into that fall, knowing that after fall comes winter, after winter comes spring, and guess what? After spring comes
summer.
Right. We're going to be cycling right back around. And so that's the whole point of the step, is recognizing the world is not coming to an end. We're recognizing that all is not lost, recognizing that we just need to be positive and we need to adapt.
Well, it boils down to, how are you going to pivot?
Exactly.
I mean, that's what it really boils down to, because you know what? Right now, people are looking at, this is a long winter right now, even though it's only been 10 days. A lot of business operates week to week to week, especially the restaurant business.
Yeah.
And they got bills to pay, and they got things to do. And why you can't, I mean, prime example, there's a lot of restaurants closing right now because they couldn't pivot. They didn't want to think outside the box, and that is so sad. I just got the news that a place that I like going to for happy hour is closing. But again, it's because they didn't pivot, and they're like, well, we can season this out. Well, it's been 10 days, and they couldn't hang 10 days. And unfortunately, there's a lot of small businesses that way. There's a lot of them saying, well, we're just going to close the doors and wait. Well, a lot of those that are closing the doors aren't going to open them again.
Right.
And that's unfortunate. So how do we keep ourselves out of that?
Yeah, absolutely. By knowing the cycles, right? Knowing these steps. But also, Don, just tell us, will you share on this webinar what you are doing to help these small businesses? Because you're doing something that's really very generous and very much paying it forward. So tell us about that.
So what we're doing for customers, what we're doing for our customers is we're doing something free for them. We're actually doing a curbside campaign for them, to where we're letting people know, hey, we're open for curbside. Come and enjoy our marvelous food. And what we're doing for people that aren't our customers, we're still doing it for free. They just got to cover some little expenses to it, which isn't very much. But again, we can bring business to your door, and that's what we want to do, is bring it to your door. Now, some of our places are doing $500, $1,000, $1,500 a day. Actually, we had one that just had a $2,000 Saturday last week. And
that is awesome. Thanks for sharing that. What a win.
But some restaurants will go, well, we need $50,000 to cover our week. Well, guess what? No, you don't. I mean, that's including paying all your employees and stuff, but what do you need for the minimum stuff? Because you're not ordering as many supplies.
Exactly.
You need that 50 grand for your supplies, but if you're not ordering as many. So we help them with that too. Let's style down. You don't have to have a full menu. You don't need a full menu. What's your P mix? What do you sell the most of? And let's work on that. And you know what? Especially with the bars and places like this, why aren't you selling alcohol? Why aren't you doing mixed pizza? Let's do some White Claw. We'll give you a 6-pack of White Claw, which I've never had, with pizza or whatever. I mean, let's put some packages together, or the wine. You've
never had White Claw?
No, never had White Claw.
Don, I'm sending a case to your house. It's so good.
I hear it's so good, man. But the other thing is,
so good.
It's for the foodies. You know, the wine sitting on the shelf in the back room, it's not making no money. Well, let's do a sale on the wine.
Exactly.
With every meal, we'll get half-price bottle of wine. You're still making a couple of bucks. And the good thing is, you're not carrying the inventory. And that's what you got to think. How can we get the inventory down? How can we lessen our expenses, especially in the depths of winter?
Yep, exactly. And it's so funny you mentioned that inventory of wine. Don, I can't remember where I saw it. It's honestly, the last several weeks have just been kind of a blur for me, just trying to keep up with helping my clients and then just staying on top of the economic side of the situation. But I saw on social media a local restaurateur, and this was funny, but it was a great idea. They have a whole stash of unused cleaning supplies, including toilet paper, in their storage room. And with every order that was going out the door, they were sending a brand new commercially wrapped clean roll of toilet paper because they've got no use for it.
You got to love that.
How funny is that?
Again, and that's the thing. Even though it's gloom and doom, everybody says gloom and doom. Well, you know, but it's like watching all this political crap come across your Facebook feed. When I see the negative stuff, I put it on rest for 30 days from friends. I just put it on rest. I don't want to see it no more. Yeah. I choose to believe in the positive.
Yep.
And things, as for government, no matter what side you're on, things change every 4 years. So get over it. You know?
Yeah.
That's all I got to say about that on politics. But business can go on, maybe not as usual and maybe not as robust, but I've seen places doing better now than they did before the virus, which is totally insane. But they're getting out there and saying, hey, we're here, man. Come check us out. You know, and that's the main thing. That's what they weren't doing before. They were dependent on, well, we have regulars. Well, what happens when your regulars go away? They will sooner or later. It happens with every business.
Yep. And that goes exactly what we were just talking about with knowing the cycles, knowing how the economy shifts, and then recognizing how your business has to shift with it. You can't always depend on your regulars. Regulars will move away. Regulars will pass away. Regulars' life changes, right? So how do we adapt and shift the business? You always have to be thinking about that, guys. So, Don, anything else you want to add for this step, which is step number 3, which is knowing the cycles?
What's step number 4? What are we talking about next time?
Oh, step number 4 is actually probably arguably one of my favorites, which is change. So we're going to talk about that on step number 4. Stay tuned.
I do love change. Hey, everybody, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Have a great day.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.